just continues now. Wow. Just one after another here. These last few fights have really been impressive.
Good night for Team Wise, Pete. Rob Malfaris, Ben Fodor both picking up finishes. Submission finishes. So we're getting a look here at Colt Hausauer, fighting out of Easttown MMA. This bout going to be taking place at 155 pounds in the lightweight division. Talk us through, Pete, what kind of a rush is this to walk out to actual music in front of a crowd like this? You've done it before. I will never do it. So take me through that. What are you feeling right about now?
Well, Chad, you know, I always try to stay as calm as possible because I know I don't want to get too excited because I don't want to be tense. Some people, like we talked about earlier, like to get fired up, like we saw with, who was it? Joseph Seagalt, I believe. We're doing his best Diego Sanchez impression. So it really depends on what kind of fighter you are, what you need to get in the cage. You know, like I said earlier, it's not a natural thing to plan to fight somebody in front of a crowd in the cage. So whatever you got to do to get in the right mindset to do so, you got to do. For me, though, it's always trying to stay calm. I try to stay loose. I look at it as, hey, it's no different than what I do in the gym every day. And a lot of times what I do in the gym every day is a lot harder, and we do that for a reason. If you prepare yourself well, you come into the cage confident, and you know, you leave it all in the cage, and you feel good about it whether you win or lose.
You do hear a lot of fighters say that. They say, hey, all of the hard work, the training camp is behind me, the fighting is the easy part. The fight night is the easy part.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I will tell you for sure, my least favorite part of the sport is the weight cut. So the night before, I feel like after I get done with the weight cut, all the hard work's done. I just got to get in the cage and perform.
Big ovation here for J.J. Lopez out of Arlington Kickboxing Academy. So it looks like an ovation of the night, Pete, goes to J.J. Lopez.
Yeah, wow. Home field advantage brought a big crowd here. Arlington just right down the street from, or not down the highway from here. And he definitely brought a crowd. That had to have been the loudest announcement we heard tonight.
Here we go. We have Colt Hausauer with the black trunks and white trim. J.J. Lopez, black trunks with the camo trim.
J.J. Lopez coming out of Arlington Kickboxing, like I said, just right down the street. They got Coach Landon Showalter in the corner. He's a great fighter himself, and he puts out a lot of good fighters out of his gym.
Looks like early on, Pete Hausauer trying to take advantage of his height and reach here as he throws a few leg kicks early. There's one right there. Superman punch attempt by Hausauer misses.
Yeah, Hausauer doing a good job to start the fight, dictating the pace from the outside, setting the tone, getting off first. Look for JJ to try and close the distance quickly and land some strikes of his own.
Pete, if you're JJ Lopez and you're fighting a guy with a reach advantage, how do you counter that? How do you get around that?
Well, kind of what he's doing right now. He's doing a little feints and head movement to make Colt guess when he's coming in, and then he needs to explode and get on the inside, and then once he gets there, he needs to work inside. You can't let him off the hook because then you got to close that distance again. There's the head fake that I was talking about. And on the other side, if you're Colt, you do want to just get off first. You want to fire every time you can when you're in range. And make a shorter guy walk through your punches and through your kicks to get on the inside where he wants to be. You don't want to let him have a free pass to get inside.
Solid leg kick earlier by JJ Lopez. We're seeing some really good leg kicks here early on in this first round, Pete, from both fighters.
Yeah, some really nice outside leg kicks by Colt. Big overhand right there by JJ. Might have hurt him there.
It's one thing to watch these fights on TV or if you're watching online here, but to actually be here, you really hear those shots and you feel those shots. These guys throwing heavy leather and kicks here.
Yeah, that's one thing nice about coming to the fights. You really feel the energy of the crowd. Oh my goodness.
Lopez there, dropping Hausauer with a right hook. But Hausauer looks to be recovered, popped right back up here, and JJ smelling blood.
Oh my goodness, flying knee attempt there. These guys are really going after it.
Flying knee attempt by Lopez. Hausauer ducked under, and then both of them touched gloves after it, almost as to say, hey, that's a good idea.
This fight living up to the hype so far, the co-main event.
Spinning back fist attempt there by Hausauer. And Hausauer really dynamic, a la almost an Anthony Pettis. A lot of flying knees. A lot of spinning attempts here from Hausauer. He's got a really unique style.
Yeah, he's doing a good job of implementing his game plan, attacking from the outside, staying out of range of the shorter Lopez. Nice little left hook there by JJ.
And with Lopez dropping Hausauer earlier here in the first round, that's got to do something for his confidence, Pete. He knows that he has it in him. He knows that he can find that range if he needs to.
Takedown attempt by Colt. He's got a mount against the cage, but JJ's holding on to a guillotine, it looks like here. It's going to be really hard for him to finish there from being mounted. Great round.
Exciting first round. As both fighters here really seeming to enjoy this fight.
You know, as they go back to their corners, it looks to me at this point the Colt maybe is a little bit better shape. It looked like JJ was maybe breathing a little bit harder at that end of that round, but we'll see how they recover given this minute rest. Very hard round to score. Colt with the takedown there at the end, but he didn't do a whole lot with it. JJ did rock him early in the round, so it's hard to score. I'd say overall Colt controlled most of the stand-up there that round, except for the big right hand that JJ landed that rocked him. So it'll be interesting to see how the judges scored that one.
Again, if you're just joining us here, Koga MMA Battle at the Base 7. This is your co-main event. Colt Hausauer and JJ Lopez at 155 pounds. So we begin round 2 here.
Good takedown defense there by JJ. Cole kind of dove from the outside, didn't really set up that takedown. JJ saw it coming and did a good job to avoid.
Hausauer with the takedown at the end of round 1 and then looking for one immediately here to start the second round. Hausauer with a little bit of a cut, looks like, around his left eye. Doesn't seem to be impeding his vision, though.
It's interesting to see the game play out between a shorter fighter and a longer fighter like this. Like I said earlier, JJ's looking with these little feints, little head fakes, little movements to get Colt guessing to see when he charges in, because you don't want a long guy timing you on the way in, because he's able to hit you at a distance that you can't hit him back.
JJ here doing a good job of picking his spots and rushing in on Hausauer. Right hook to the body there.
Leg kick caught by JJ. Took a double leg takedown there, but lets him right back up.
Right hook attempt there by Hausauer. Looks like Lopez electing to let Hausauer up there, means he feels pretty comfortable on his feet here.
Wow, nice outside leg kick by Lopez. That looked like it hurt.
Looks like he really dug into that one. Both of these guys, Pete, looking so far pretty evenly matched on the feet. Despite the height and the reach difference, both of them having their moments.
Wow.
It's Lopez unloading some kicks now.
Superman punch attempt there by Colt Hausauer.
There's Lopez rushing in again. And you can just feel this crowd, Pete, just waiting to explode here if JJ Lopez is able to connect with one of those.
JJ stepped back and took a deep breath after that last rush attempt there. Really picking his spots to explode.
Left and a right from Hausauer.
This is another difficult round to score.
The fights that have ended up in a decision tonight, not many. A few of them have been pretty tough to score. And that draw there earlier between Shandy and Brittany. So judges earning their check here tonight.
Hard to tell if he got hurt by that punch or if he just got knocked off balance, but he definitely took some weird steps there. Seemed to be fine though. I imagine he was just caught off balance.
A little under 10 seconds here, round 2.
Wow. Colt literally chasing JJ around the cage there. Looking at, I think that was a flying front kick.
maybe inventing something new here tonight, Colt Hausauer.
Yeah, you said it earlier. You said compared him to Anthony Pettis. Definitely trying some crazy stuff. I like that, people taking risks in the cage.
All that was missing out of that exchange was the kick off the fence kick that Pettis landed on Benson Henderson.
Yeah.
We'd like to take some time here to recognize some of our great sponsors. CombatGamesMMA.com, Sahara Pizza, 10 Sports Bar, Weber Chiropractic, Fox Sports Radio 1380, and the Seattle Mist. And Pete, if you haven't gone to a Seattle Mist football game, it's exciting.
I'm going to have to check it out.
That, of course, being the lingerie football league. But those women, let me tell you something. It's competitive football. You tend to forget about what they're wearing because it is competitive football.
All right, here we go. Again, I don't know how these rounds got scored. I think if I'm in the corner, I tell them, look, these are close. I don't know how the judges saw it. You better go out and win this round.
It'd be interesting to see, or be able to hear each corner tell their fighter what they thought of the first two rounds. But as you mentioned, Pete, it's pretty close. Those first two rounds were very close, and each fighter here going to try to win the third.
Yeah, I think if I had to, I would have scored the first round for Colt, the second round for JJ, but really, I'm glad I'm not a judge. We got a JJ chant going on right now in the crowd.
I was trying to figure out what that chant was.
That outside leg kick really hurt. Colt's limping pretty hard. You can see some grimaces on his face. He's staying away. I think he's really hurt. Oh my gosh. Wow.
That is it. And Hausauer acknowledging there. I almost thought at first that was an early stoppage, but you can see after the stoppage he shook his head and he said, yeah, I was hurt there.
Wow.
And there's the crowd exploding for JJ Lopez, finishing the fight by leg kicks there.
It's not often you see that in this sport, a leg kick finish. But you can see clearly